had this Hobbit mug. It was like a collector's item, and I bought it for $3, and it sold on eBay like 2 months later for like $400.
So are you saying that you replaced your engineering job that you got and you're doing this full time now?
Yep.
That's crazy. Wow.
I was doing engineering for like 4 years and I quit like end of last August, and I'm coming up on a year now. So
who's winning the cage match, Elon or Musk?
I'm going to take Elon on that one. Any friends in the space? When I first started, I didn't seek mentorship or Discord groups to like answer questions that I had. I kind of just learned everything on my own. So either way, I'm still ended up full time. So I'm happy where I landed.
Welcome back to the Doughboys podcast. And today we are joined by a lovely guest. We got Alex, aka AC Flips. How are you doing, Alex? How's your day going?
I'm good. Things are good. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. So if you don't know who Alex is, he is a six-figure Amazon seller who shares all of his knowledge with everyone on YouTube, Instagram, all the social medias, getting you the information so that way you don't have to struggle how he did when he first started. So Alex, can you tell us how you kind of got into Amazon and where it all began?
Yeah, I started like probably a lot of sellers started with flipping stuff on eBay. I was in the thrift stores, Goodwill, wherever I could find, used shoes or just really anything. I mean, I would sit and like look up, literally search the stuff on eBay back in like 2018, 2019, 2020. And then I think I came across like some content on YouTube about flipping stuff, on eBay and in thrift stores and stuff. And then of course that probably the algorithm hit me with some Amazon content. And then I started trying the retail arbitrage side of Amazon, where I'd go into Targets and Walmarts and search the clearance section every week, and got to a point where that wasn't quite scalable. And then, naturally went into online arbitrage and have been doing that for probably like 2.5 years now, and coming up on like probably next week, a year of full-time Amazon. So that's really exciting.
Have you ever been stopped in a Target and they're like, hey, you can't take all this stuff?
I've gotten some dirty looks. Like I had a cart full in Costco like a week ago, and the manager was the guy that happened to ring me up, and I was like, yeah, just buying a bunch of stuff.
Crazy. It's like they don't like money. I don't understand it. You're buying loads of stuff. It's just crazy.
Yeah, they really, it's like, especially clearance stuff. It's like they should be happy we're getting rid of their clearance. That's why it's on clearance anyways. Yeah.
But half the time, like you can just like hesitate your answer and they'll answer for you. Like Logan has one where he went to go buy a bunch of bras, and then they said, oh, you must have a lot of girlfriends. He's like, yep. I have one where I was buying a bunch of like the saltine crackers from Walmart, and I was like, oh, what are you doing with all these? I was like, well, he's like, oh, you must be donating them to charity. I was like, I mean, I don't know. And then just like
in a manner of speaking,
matter of speaking, it's not getting donated, but it's going to someone who needs
it's not donated, but
I had another one where I was buying it was at Target, a bunch of toys on clearance. It was like baby dolls and Barbies and stuff. And they were like, oh, are these for your daughters? Yep.
Yeah, I got a lot of kids. I'm 19.
All the kids and all the girlfriends.
Young. Yeah, with all your girlfriends.
My favorite one is Josh is gonna like this one. My favorite one is the one at the Lego store.
Here we go. Legos.
Because they limit you, right? You can only get, depending on what it is, you can only get 3, you can only get 5, you can only get 10, right? So my thing is, I need 15 because it's for the Girl Scouts. They all have to have the same thing, and it works every now and then.
You brought up Girl Scouts?
The Girl Scouts.
Oh man,
Cisco, I'm sorry.
15.
There's 15
I would never.
Troop.
No, Cisco, you're never Girl Scouts. How do they believe that?
Because I go with my daughter and she like looks at them.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
That's
you should like buy her a pack of like Girl Scout cookies. Don't ever have them like opened, and that can be her cover. She's just a Girl Scout, so whenever you need to get the Legos.
Well, Girl Scout cookies are bolos, so
it's true.
Just saying.
Well, my question was, because I think about this a lot. When you were first getting in, you just said you're starting on eBay and stuff. Were you thinking, oh, I'm gonna scale, or were you just like, I'm young, I'm trying to make some quick cash on the side? Did you ever think that it get to be like a full business for you?
Not at the start. I was kind of just like, oh, it'd be cool to make a few extra bucks on the side because I got a job in engineering right out of school, so I was
Oh wow.
doing okay, and I was like, oh, I want to hustle on a side on a business. I wanted to start a business since college, so that was kind of like the start. So I was just like, oh, it'd be cool if it became something, but I never really had like full time in my head or like, replacing my engineering income. So yeah, then once I started, I think when I started like fully seeing like eBay, I flipped, some decent items. Like I had this, Hobbit mug. It was like a collector's item and I bought it for $3 and it sold on eBay like 2 months later for like 400. It was
Oh
like
wow.
some crazy flip. And I'm like, okay, if only I could find more of this stuff, like
Right.
this could be
Now
some
you're
some
hooked.
pretty big income. And then you kind of hit the plateau with eBay because unless you're around a ton of thrift stores, which I'm not, you kind of run out of stock. And then that's what happened with retail arbitrage as well. I ran out of stock, but I could see the potential. I'm like, wow, there's so many, you flip this product 10 times. If only I could buy 50 of them. And then it kind of snowballed from there.
So are you saying that you replaced your engineering job that you got and you're doing this full time now?
Yep. Yep.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I quit like I was doing engineering for like 5 years or 4 years and I quit like end of last August and I'm coming up on a year now. So
If you
So
don't
now
mind me
to do-
asking, how much were you making as an engineer?
Yeah,
when you
because so there's different engineers and they all have different ranges. So
Right.
you don't have to like you don't have to show us your last pay stub, but like what the range in
Yeah, show us your last pay
expertise
stub.
of
You know what?
engineering. What
yeah,
was
let me
the
just
range
pull
for
that
that?
out real quick.
Yeah.
I think I was making
Copy the
like
social.
I think I was making like 3,500 ish, somewhere in that range a month. So, and the Amazon business wasn't like I was profiting like around that much, maybe a little bit more, but I wasn't like paying myself that much. But I knew if I could just put way more time into it, because I'd work my 45, 40, 50 plus whatever, however many hours I was working, and then I'd come home and try to grind as much as I could. But I'm like, if I could just like double the amount of time I'm putting in, I know I can make this work. And here I
You
am.
like it more
later.
than the engineering job?
Yeah. I mean, I liked what I was doing. Like I was able to be creative and problem solve, kind of like what the typical engineer gets, does. The flexibility with this job, and it's like really, I find it fun because like looking for products for me is a lot of fun, and kind of like I miss the RA stuff sometimes because it's like it feels like a treasure hunt when you're you find the home run product on the shelves and stuff. But it's still fun.
Cisco
Like
act
for
up.
good products
Miss
on
RA.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you left basically a job, and we don't know if 3,500 was before tax or after tax, but roughly somewhere around 50 to 65,000 a year to do this full time, and this has essentially replaced your full time income. And 65,000 a year in the majority of places in America is a good salary. So I think that really does speak to how anybody can, not anybody, but a lot of people can really do this. It's not some scam. It's not some like myth or whatever. But if you actually put your head down and work on it and learn how to do it, you can definitely do it. So you said you started doing Amazon FBA 2.5 years ago, and it's been about a year since you've been full time now. Do you think you could have become full time sooner, or what kind of led you to the decision to finally like pull the trigger?
I was happy the way I did it and the timing and everything. But I mean, if I think I could have like probably achieved what I did sooner if I did things differently. Like the first year of just Amazon in general, I didn't seek any mentorship. I didn't join any Discord groups. I like didn't even watch YouTube videos on how to sell or how to like find profitable leads, how to avoid tanking products. Like I didn't have Keepa for the first like 4 months of selling on Amazon. So I'm just like buying things strictly based on the profit number on the seller app calculator, just like me going in blind and like just trying to find profit. And then once I finally like started building some systems and understanding like, Keepa and really what makes, profitable products, how fast things sell, then I kind of got the scalability going a little bit. And it still took me a while because like I said, I didn't have any friends in the space when I first started. I didn't seek mentorship or Discord groups to like answer questions that I had. I kind of just learned everything on my own. So probably like created a larger learning curve for myself than a lot of sellers kind of have the opportunity to nowadays. But either way, I'm still ended up full time, so I'm happy where I landed, and learning all the hardships on my own has helped me like really. I think that's why when I like teach the stuff, I really have a good knowledge base. When I post Instagram posts and YouTube videos, I feel like I'm speaking from a lot of experience and not just like what I learned, what other people have taught me or whatever, because it's made a lot of the mistakes on my own early on. So
yeah, and that compounded knowledge over time is so valuable. And being able to look back at the experience you've gained, and if you could like start over, how much faster you would be able to go full time. Before we hopped on, we were talking about Mr. Beast, and how he spent like the last 10 years building his brand and learning and compounding that knowledge. And that's what's made him so successful. And you could start him tomorrow with like a brand new channel, and within 90 days, it would be successful because of everything that he knows. And that really applies to any situation you're in. Also, you mentioned something about how you were profiting like 3,500, but you weren't paying yourself that yet. I think that's super, super important. A lot of people who have aspirations to go full time, they'll be like, okay, I need whatever, $5,000 a month to live, to replace my income. Once I'm profiting 5K a month, that's it, right? No, guys, your profit is not what you can pay yourself. There's cash flow, your business, you're going to have expenses come up. A business needs profit to survive and go month to month. So, I would say be making close to double your take home before you consider leaving. But, you guys could chime in on that too.
Or you can just, live the profit first life. And
yeah, shout out Profit First. Shout out Mike McGill.
Well, I knew there was two things you said there that I knew Logan was particularly going to hop on. I knew he really liked that. That was well said. The second thing was, I like how you said you didn't reach out to any gurus. You didn't try to get any like mentorship. And I think that's really important when you're first starting, is like dive in, find out. That tells you what you know, what you don't know. And then when you meet with the mentors, you actually are, making money. You actually like have these problems that you need to get solved. I think it's like a more valuable use of every party involves time. I think that was like really well said. I like that a lot. And I think a lot of newcomers don't think that way. They think, oh, I need to like get help and learn everything before I start. And it's like kind of like more an anxiety approach, whereas like you need to be like calm and be like, it's okay. Mistakes are going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. If you just think about it, like spelling it out, like if you seek mentorship before you learn, any of the basics, you're going to be asking that mentor, like, how do I get ungated, when there's like 100 free videos on that kind of stuff, wasting their time. Probably you could have got that question answered right away. So yeah, once you understand the base of it and you're trying to scale and grow, then that's when maybe mentorship makes more sense, where you both are getting good value out of it.
Yeah, I was talking to another content creator. He's pretty big on Instagram and YouTube, and he stopped doing coaching calls because he was tired of people like paying him just to learn how to get ungated. It's like there's literally hundreds of free videos on that.
Makes sense.
I'm not gonna name drop. That's funny.
You can't just bring something up and not name drop.
We'll talk after.
Unforbidden. It's unforbidden. Anyways, talking about gurus. All right, Alex, we got to know, who's your favorite online guru besides the Doughboys, of course?
I like Fields of Profits channel. I think he provides some good content.
Shout out Warner Fields.
Yeah, big time. I like Tim Soros Empire. I think he's got a good message. I like the mindset stuff that he puts out there. So yeah, those are two of the top.
Do you have anyone maybe outside of the Amazon space that you follow their content a lot or read books or anything like that?
Right out of college, I was a big Gary Vee guy. You put me on the hustle, like work. You got to work to get what you want. There's been probably a couple that I really, like the Profit First. I really like that book, and I wouldn't say like Mike would be like some sort of like mentor or anything, but I just resonate with the book a lot. Gary Vee was kind of the guy. Ty Lopez, like in the like when I first really thought about entrepreneurship, I was like, I actually bought his course on social media marketing.
Nice.
And that was like the first step to like me even thinking about entrepreneurship. So that was
he was the first guru that I really started following.
He really was. He really was. He convinced me.
Logan was the first guru I ever followed.
Oh.
It's like, That's dead. Actually, now thinking back onto it, the first guru I ever followed was actually Nikki Kirk. Do any of you guys know who she is?
Yeah. No, Nikki.
She makes very simple, basic videos. Well, I mean, I haven't seen her new content, but back then she used to make very simple, basic, consumable content for RA and like bolos, and it just made it super simple for you to start. That's I would say that was the guru that I first.
Oh,
Yeah, and her content's kind of unique because her situation where she's doing it all out of an RV while traveling full time.
Yeah, that too. But she was late to a lot of things. Like, yeah. She was late to Rolos. She was late to, she was late to Keepa, just like all of us were apparently. Except at least I downloaded Keepa. Unlike YouTube. YouTube went months without Keepa. I downloaded it.
Crazy
I just never knew how to use it. I just paid for it just to have it.
Yeah, just going in blind, basically.
So, Alex, give us the overview on your business operation today. Are you doing everything yourself? Do you work with prep centers, VAs, leads lists? How does everything operate?
Yeah, I have 2 VAs, both help me. They source full time for me, and I've had them each for about 3 months. I hired, so I had a VA basically all of last year, and I just wasn't a good, I wasn't a good manager. Basically, I didn't, train him very well, and he just didn't click with him, and I just kind of like let it be, and just didn't do a good job of that. But then I, kind of found out from other sellers who have like very well performing VAs that like how to run a good program for that. So I do have 2 VAs. I train them a bunch. I work with them. Like basically I'm chatting with them like 3 to 5 days a week, like multiple chats. So there's always, communication there. And they do really well for me. They've been growing a ton in the last couple months. So, and then I do have a prep center that I send most of my stuff to. Actually, recently I've been kind of prepping some of my own stuff. Some of it's back to school, and some of it's just my prep center is in Montana, and the ship times or the FC transfer from like that side, it just seems to be really slow as of the last couple months. So I've been trying to like, if I know it's an item that could tank or it's going to be found by a lot of people, I'll send it to my house. Maybe I'll save a little bit on a bundle fee or something, and then I'll ship it out that way. But otherwise it's just me. My wife helps with prep if I'm stretched on timing or if there's a ton of stuff, so she gets dragged into that sometimes.
How long has she been doing that?
A bunch.
I was saying I love when family and friends like are involved with the prep process. That's how I actually met Logan. I was a friend and he got me involved with that, so I love that kind of stuff. So how long has she been helping with that?
I mean, if it's like she knows how to put labels, she knows to cover the barcodes, poly bags. I have a whole setup. So she's been, Q4 when I was shipping like 100 units a day, I could not do that by myself. So I like almost had to have her helping out. So it's a big help. But yeah, like I said, once I got the prep center, I only got a prep center in January. So it's that's been a huge like help to like put me into, or I get to source more often because of that. So that's helped a bunch like with scaling, but like I said, I'm doing some of the prep myself. So it's just been, I think the prep myself has kind of helped me scale even more, even though I'm spending more time prepping, less time sourcing, but it's just some of the products that I wouldn't normally send to the prep center because it's either has a chance of tanking or it's just, maybe it's like close to small and light, but it's still cheap where the sales tax is way cheaper than the prep fee. And I can maybe make an extra $1. Stuff like that, like those opportunities, like I can afford 2 hours of prep work to send a shipment in if it means, giving me, 3 more products that I wouldn't have ever sent to the prep center.
Exactly.
Right.
So, I'm a married man as well. So I have to know, I need some advice. How did you convince her to help you? Because my wife, unless it is small enough to fit in the bed and I can bring it to the bed, and it's super simple, there's no way she'll go into the garage or upstairs or help me with anything. As far as like,
yeah,
I mean, obviously she like takes care of our daughter while I'm prepping, but aside from that, she's hands off. So how'd you do it?
She's kind of on the same wavelength, like mindset wise. Like we both want to do something bigger than just a 9 to 5 our whole lives. So she's kind of, I think ever since I got on the Gary V. Ty Lopez train at the beginning, she's kind of resonated with like the grind and like wanting to do bigger things. So she's if it's supporting me and helping me, she's usually for it. So I'm grateful for that.
All right, so I got some spitfire questions here for you. Okay, now these are quick, not really thinking about them, just answering. So you have a second to answer each of these. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
All right. Favorite repricer?
BeCool.
Favorite flip that you ever flipped?
Favorite flip ever?
Yeah.
I would say this inflatable paddleboard that I bought for $10 and flipped it for like 200 locally, like the next day.
Nice. Favorite category? If you're walking into Walmart or Target, which aisle are you going to first?
Beauty.
Beauty. Okay. Underrated software or service?
Oh, SellerBoard for sure.
Ooh. Okay. Do you prefer fast sellers or higher ROI?
I'll take the higher ROI.
Who's winning the cage match, Elon or Musk?
I'm going to take Elon on that one.
All right, bet. Last one. Who's winning in the UFC fight? Either Miles or Garrett?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. Garrett's ran Ironmans. I might have to go with Garrett on that one.
I'm backing you up. I'm going to go with Garrett.
Yeah, I'm going with Garrett.
Now, if it's a hooping competition, that might go another way.
No, we said it's a fight. It's a fight. I definitely think Mark's
what other softwares do you use in your business?
I use InventoryLab. My prep center uses InventoryLab, which is really nice. And I've been using it for how long? So like it wasn't brand new to me. Like once the prep center was using it, that's what they use. So that made it really easy because I knew, I know what they're dealing with. If they have issues, I can understand where it's coming from. Like I said, BeCool, I actually have been using it for a while, but I find it does well for me. My listings, I get a pretty good buy box share most of the time. So that seems to be helpful. What else I use? SellerAmp, of course, Keepa, those are pretty basic standard for most sellers. But SellerBoard, like I said, for underratedness, that I just started using it like probably 2 months ago. And for me, it's just nice to see like, the daily sales. You can kind of get a good feel on like reorders and replens and stuff like that, where I didn't really have a good system for that in the past. InventoryLab, I would check it sometimes, but I think SellerBoard has a really good, replen feature where they tell you sales per day and how soon between the next reorder. So that information has been super helpful and kind of helped me like pick up on items that I probably wouldn't have repurchased as soon and help me, purchase them a lot faster. So it's been nice.
Yeah. SellerBoard, I'm going to agree with you. That is a pretty underrated tool. The profit analytics, and then we liked it for the replens as well. And I know they have a ton of other features, but those are really the main ones. But it's well worth it for the price.
Yeah, it is really cheap actually.
Going back to our guru talk, Nikki Kirk was a SellerBoard truther 3 years ago. So just saying.
True. She was early.
She was early.
Wow.
She's late. She's late on Rolos, but she was early
on SellerBoard.
Not on SellerBoard. She was in there.
All right. Well, Alex, thank you very much for joining us today, sharing your story. Viewers, thank you so much for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.